Is Hulk getting ready to walk down the aisle again? Also, just in today, Adam Lambert sat down with Ellen DeGeneres and says he's still not sorry for his sexually charged performance at the American Music Awards. And wait until you hear why Ellen is still so outraged about the whole thing. Joining me tonight from New York, Balthazar, who's a comic and editor of PopGoesTheWeek.com. In Hollywood, Rachel Zalis, who's a contributing editor for Life and Style Weekly. Rachel, I want to begin with Hulk Hogan's brand new bombshell. Hulk was walking through an airport when he tipped off a TMZ cameraman to the bling on his girlfriend Jennifer's finger. Watch this.
It's a pretty lady you're traveling with today, man.
That lady right there?
Yeah.
Man, you're missing the money shot, bro. Check that left hand out.
Ah, the left hand.
Got that yet? That's all you, man.
Ah, the ring on it.
Oh, man.
There we go. That's the story right there, right?
You know, you don't know the real story. That could be the new Mrs. Hogan, man. You guys know Jennifer Hogan here?
Don't know her yet.
Oh, okay.
Nice to meet you, Jennifer Hogan.
How are you doing? Rachel, he introduced her as Jennifer Hogan. Does that sound like some kind of wrestling shenanigans to you, or do you think that Hulk's giving us the real deal here?
Yeah, I mean, ordinarily I would say it's as fake as his wrestling matches, but I think he's found true love. They asked him what makes her the perfect one, and she says she doesn't do drugs, she doesn't drink, and she doesn't watch TMZ. What better mate could there be for him? It's got to be real. It's funny how he left it up in the air like he did, saying that she could be the new Mrs. Hogan. Brian, why do you think that Hulk's being a little bit cagey about this?
Well, it keeps the story alive. You know, if he clears it up right away, it's done, it's out of the way. If he keeps it going, we're left to speculate. By the way, she looks really young. I mean, I think his bandana's older than she is, actually.
At least not as young as his last girlfriend.
Well, you know, Showbiz Tonight, or his ex-wife is not quite that young. We reached out to Hulk's ex-wife of 25 years, Linda. She had no comment for us. Now, the bitter exes finalized their divorce just 4 months ago. Rachel, is this just another strange chapter to what's been a very dramatic year?
Absolutely. I mean, this has been one of the most tumultuous years in his life, you know, between the tragic car accident that his son Nick was in, you know, everything that's been going on with his daughter Brooke. He was dating her friend, you know, for a point of time, the bitter divorce with Linda. So, you know, it's obviously been a very, you know, crazy year. So who knows where this is going to go? I'm just enjoying watching.
It's been tough. And, you know, he recently revealed in his book that he almost committed suicide at one point because things got so bad. So if he's with Jennifer now and he's happy, that's wonderful. All the best to them. I want to move now to Adam Lambert's brand new interview with Ellen DeGeneres on her talk show today. Adam really opened up to Ellen about how life has been since he created such a firestorm with his sexually explicit performance at the AMAs. Ellen asked Adam if he thinks he went too far. Watch.
I think in hindsight, I look back on it and I go, okay, maybe that wasn't the best first impression to make again, like the second impression. And I mean, I had fun up there. I had a good time. My dancers had fun. The band had fun. But I also recognize that. Thank you. Thank you. But you know what? I respect people, and I feel like people walked away from that feeling disrespected, and I would never intend to disrespect anybody.
Right.
So that was not my intention.
Brian, does it sound like he's having a change of heart maybe about how he handled that performance?
Well, I think this whole thing is about as accidental as Paris Hilton's hair extensions, but I think he's panicking a little bit. You know, I think he's never had to do damage control before, so he's in an unusual situation. I think he's being appropriately contrite, just enough to make this go away, and let his talent speak for itself in future performances.
It's an indirect apology, I think, and that may be all that we're going to get from him. He still has not formally directly apologized for that racy performance, but he did tell Ellen today that his own father suggested he do just that. Watch.
My dad was like, well, maybe you should apologize, Adam. I don't know. Yeah. Maybe you should do that. And I was like, well, Dad, I don't feel like I did anything wrong. It just maybe wasn't the right judgment call.
Right.
You know?
For like you said.
It's a taste thing, I think, more than an obscenity thing, or, you know, I think it's just a taste level.
Yeah.
Wow, Adam sticking to his guns there, not apologizing, but saying he made a bad call. Rachel, even though he's still not directly saying he's sorry, do you think maybe he's retreating a bit? Because I sensed a little bit of regret in his voice.
Yeah, I mean, listen, the AMAs have always been known as a great coming out party for new artists, and he might have just taken it a little too literally. But at the same time, does he really need to apologize for being the new bad boy of rock and roll? I mean, the music industry has become very boring and sanitized. And here's a night where there's Rihanna, Lady Gaga, J-Lo. Who is everyone talking about? Adam Lambert. It was a smart move.
Well, you know, Ellen seemed to be really outraged by the whole thing, and she basically said that if you're offended by a show of sexuality on stage, then you should be offended by all shows of sexuality in all forms. Brian, do you think that Ellen's outrage helps Adam quickly?
I think so, actually. There's a long history of doing shocking things at awards performances. You know, Sinead ripped up a picture of the Pope on SNL, and people shows their butt cheeks. Prince and Marilyn Manson showed their butt cheeks. So you're watching the wrong program if you want to just be bored.
Yeah, they're never boring, no doubt about that. Brian, Balthazar, Rachel Zalis, we'll leave it there for now. Thanks.